Hi everyone, I'm Jess Barker, your spa events coordinator. Thank you for joining us today for a special gardening and composting tutorial with SPA's Director of Operations, Kevin Milburn. Kevin is the creator of the Facebook community group Garden Fun with Kevin Milburn, where he shares tips on gardening and healthy living. His online group is partnered with a local community garden, where Kevin is leading the charge to help families who are in need by providing fresh fruits and vegetables while fostering a space for food accessibility and education. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to welcome Kevin.
Hi guys, welcome to the garden. It's so good to see you guys. Well, I can't see you, but it's so good to be here today, guys, to share about gardening and composting. And I just want you to know that this is going to be a fun experience. So let's get this garden party started. Chris, take it away. Green Acres is the place for me. Farm living is the life for me.
I think I'll go for a walk outside now. The summer sun's calling my name. I hear you now, I just can't stay inside all day. I gotta get out, give me some of those rays. Everybody's smiling, sunshine day. Everybody's laughing, sunshine day. Everybody sings, so happy today. It's a sunshine day. I think I'll go for a walk outside now. The summer sun knows me by name. He's calling me, I gotta get up, gotta get out, gotta get away. Gotta get away, get away, get away, get away. Into the sunshine. Don't you dig the sunshine?
Hey guys, this is Kevin Milburn and welcome to Garden Fun with Kevin Milburn. And today we're going to talk about gardening. Gardening, it's so much fun. Oh my God. Okay, listen, so there's so many people out there that says, Kevin, I don't have enough space. I live in a small space. I don't have a yard. But guess what? There is a community out there gardening out of pots. Oh my gosh, yes, no, they're gardening out of pots. You might not have room like this, and you might not have space to put what you think a garden should go in, but they're doing it in pots. Let me show you. Okay, so this is how I start out. I start out small and then I go big. So what I call my babies veggie babies. They're veggie babies. So look, I adopted this baby for 99 cents at Lowe's. And so I put her in a container. She came in a small container like this. She came in a small container like this. And I believe in graduation day. So she graduated to a pot like this. And look, guys, you see that tomato? Oh my gosh. So listen, you can garden right where you're at. Start here, grow here. And what I do is I have graduation day. And graduation day is when one of my veggie babies move to another pot. And this is graduate. So listen, she's been in this pot for maybe 3 to 4 weeks, and look, she's already producing. Is that amazing or what? So you can garden in pots. So I come from a long line of gardeners, my grandmother, my great-grandmother, my great-uncles, and they all had gardens. And when I was a little boy, I used to garden. On Saturdays, I would go and pick out weeds and I would harvest. And so during the pandemic, my family and I, we moved. We needed space because if we were going to be at home we've got 2 boys, if we were going to be at home, we needed more space. And we found a wonderful place with a larger yard, and it had gardening space. And so with that, I started a garden during the pandemic, and it has been an amazing experience. Say hello to my cabbage babies. These are my sweet potatoes. These are beets. These are my collards. Say hello, babies. Say hello. These are my collards. I have squash growing right here next to the collards. You see those squash there? These are my kale babies. Say hello, guys. Hello. These are my corn children. See how they're growing. Oh, see my celery baby. My celery baby, I got him at the 99-cent store, and he is just huge, ready for harvest. There's about 2 or 3 cabbage heads, not cabbage, but celery heads in there that we're going to harvest. More cabbage. Our green bean babies. Our sunflower babies. Our broccoli babies. We have been harvesting broccoli all summer long, and look, more broccoli is growing here. See that? That's broccoli. See our strawberry patch. This is where we cleaned out an area and we made this our strawberry patch. We have strawberries. We don't have strawberries yet, but we're anxious to see when the strawberries are going to arrive. So listen, gardening is for anybody and everybody. You just got to start where you're at. Grow where you're at. One of my favorite sayings, bloom where you are planted. Woo! Okay, guys, so here's a few little segments from Garden Fun with Kevin Milburn, and you'll find some garden inspirations in there too, but hope you enjoy.
You want to see my dwarf lemon tree? It already has lemons. I can't wait. See you guys later.
Hi guys, this is my sunflower seeds that I planted 8 weeks ago. And look at it.
I got this feeling inside my bones. It goes electric wavy when I turn it on. Off from my city, off from my home. We're flying up no ceiling when we in our zone. I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop. And under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move, well, you already know. So just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good, good creeping up on you. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. And ain't nobody leaving soon, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling. So just dance, dance, dance. I can't stop the feeling. So just dance, dance, dance. Come on. Ooh, it's something magical. It's in the air, it's in my blood.
Hey guys, so let's talk composting. Okay, first of all, before we get started, I want to say thank you again for joining us for this segment, this tutorial. But I also wanted to give a tribute to Earth Day, which was yesterday, and I want to remind everyone to recycle, guys. Don't forget to recycle. It's an important part of preserving the earth. Okay, so remember. Go green, go lean, compost, do all that you can to save the earth. Okay, so let's talk about composting. Okay, one of the things that I learned about composting is that I had a horrible experience. My first experience was horrible because I got all my different ingredients to compost. I put them in a tub and I put a lid on it. And so thinking that, you know, I did the process, I put a little dirt in it, but putting a lid on it changed the whole dynamic for me, because when I took the lid off, bugs came everywhere. And so that was my first horror story. And then so as I started to study just a little bit more about composting, everyone can compost right where you're at, small or large. And so I'm going to share with you my experience of composting. Okay, so see, this is my composting bin. And what I do is I started off with some dirt, okay? I get some dirt, and I put a layer of dirt down there. Now, you know what composting does. Now, you've seen my garden, and so I compost everything from eggshells. So let me say it like this. Everything that you compost, all the nutrients and the vitamins and all the things that are good for your body, guess what? Those things are the same for your soil. It goes into your soil, and your veggie babies, they love it. So what I do is when fruit is going bad, or I can't get my kids to eat certain vegetables and things like that, they go right into my bags. I prepare them like 3 to 4 days. These are banana. See the banana peels and bananas that kind of like went bad. And so if you think about potassium and the things that bananas provide, guess what? Your soil is going to have that in there, and your veggie babies are going to absolutely love it. And so here again, peels, vitamin C. So how you do it, you put a layer of dirt, and think about this like how you would is if you've ever made like a 3-layer dip or 7-layer dip. Well, it's kind of like the same concept. You do your layer of soil, then you take some of your green vegetables, stuff that came from your vegetables, the skin from your cucumbers, if you don't eat the skin, or your potato peelings, and you lay those as a layer. Then you lay some more dirt, and you'll put maybe your eggshells in there. And you know, it's one thing that I do also is that I go in the garden and find some worms, and so I put those aside. Okay, so here we go. We did our first layer of soil. We did, and if you're looking for good soil, you could go to get soil from Home Depot or Lowe's. Get your organic flavor of a soil, and you use that. And so I do my bin. I get my bin, so you can get a bin. Don't get a lid. Don't get a lid, but get a bin where it's open. You do your layers like 7-layer dip. So you'll do your layer of dirt. You'll put maybe your eggshells, and you just pour these out. I put them, like I said, in Ziploc bags. I prepare them like 3 days before, and I layer it. And so what I do is I take the bin. If the bin is finished, I take it and I sit it in the garden. You want it to get sun. You want it to experience the elements. Okay, so then this is where the big thing. You know, I have friends that are into composting, but they just put the vegetables in a bin, and you gotta allow it to go through its process. But if you just put the vegetables in a bin and think that they're going to do something by themselves, you're going to have bugs. So it's important to do your layers, and then once your final layer is dirt, then you water your dirt. You water it. See the water? You water the dirt. Put water over that, and then you let it sit in the sun for a few days. 3 days, then you go there and add water and mix it up and start turning it over, mix it. So you know, growing up, you know, anybody who's made spaghetti sauce, they say that the spaghetti sauce is better the second and the third and the fourth day. So it's kind of like that, you know. You mix it up. Okay, so now listen to this. Once you mixed it up again, don't forget, once you even it out, put another layer of dirt on the top. Put another layer of dirt on that top right there, and then water it and let it sit. So approximately about maybe 15 days, you're going to see all of the things that you put in. You're going to start seeing them marry with your soil. Now, I want to say something. When you're getting ready for compost, make sure that you cut up everything in little pieces. Don't put a whole banana peel and cut that banana peel up, because it'll be easier for it to process while it's going through its change. So anyway, the fun thing about this is that once you go through your process, in 15 days, you'll see a change. Then you wait another 15 days, but continue to stir it, just like spaghetti, and stir it up, add another layer. Once you stir it up, add some water, some moisture, find some worms, add some worms in there, and then put another layer of dirt, and then let it sit for the next, and you will be amazed what type of compost you have. Your garden, your veggie babies will absolutely love the minerals and the ingredients and the vitamins and all the things that you put in the love of your compost. And then what you do is, then you transfer this, either if you have a pot garden, then what you do is you get, like, say if I had a pot garden, I had six pots, then you scoop it all out at the bottom, put some soil and scoop it out, and then you plant your seeds, or you replant your veggie babies. And so I have a bin that I do my composting, and then I also have a space in the garden where I dig a hole and I put stuff in, and it is absolutely amazing. And composting works. It absolutely works. I encourage everyone to start where you're at. You don't have to know everything about gardening, or you don't have to know everything about compost, but it works and it saves, and it's an amazing thing. And anything is fair. I mean, get your bin. So listen. Okay, so while we're talking about compost, so how many of you have ever had, like, the celery stalk, and you've eaten, because some of you say, well, I'm not sure about gardening, but this is fun for the kids and fun for the family. So watch this. So when you get to the stalk, the end of the celery, after you use the celery, cut the stalk and then put it in some water. And you will be amazed that celery will start growing up from the top. How do I know? Look. So this was a stalk of celery. We used the celery, and then it was the base of it. We cut it, and we put it in a little bit of water like that, and then all of a sudden it spreaded. So what's going to happen is, as this baby grows, we're going to have graduation day, and graduation day looks like graduating into this pot, and then once he's like strong, then he graduates to the garden. And so I have graduation day, and then they go right to the garden, and then they grow, and it's an amazing experience. The kids love it. Also, you can do that with any green. This was romaine lettuce. We used it, we chopped it up for tacos, and the base. I kept the base. I put the base in some water, and look, look, hi, veggie baby. And so she's going to grow, and guess what? She's going to have graduation day too. She's going to have graduation day, and then we're going to put her in the garden where she can grow and produce. Also, I think Jessica mentioned that during this process, it's been an amazing journey, and we've partnered with different organizations who don't have access to vegetables and don't have access to gardens. And so we were planning a wonderful community garden in South Central Los Angeles. And so my family and I, on Saturday, every Saturday is like production day for us. And so, my kids are like, oh my gosh. So, we're doing footage, we're changing our clothes, we're doing content, but we have committed to 100, look at that. This is green beans, but we've made 100 different vegetables in these little containers to go to the garden. That's a part of our community service. And so also we're doing garden kits, and we're doing compost kits so that they can put that in the garden, the community garden. So anyway, I just want to encourage you guys that it is an amazing process, one, to garden. Everyone needs a garden. Green leafy vegetables, eating right, drinking right, being healthy, your children. It's an amazing experience for them to be in the garden and get their hands dirty. One of my sons, he just absolutely loves worms, and so that's a process too. I'm not a worm person, but I mean it comes with with gardening, and so it's an experience. So I encourage you all, grow where you're at. If it's with pots, do it. There's a community. If you ever have time, drop by Garden Fun with Kevin Milburn on Facebook, and you're going to see hundreds and hundreds of people who are gardening with pots in their yards, and they're like big, huge corn and bell peppers and all these amazing things. So gardening can be such a fun and family thing. No one should be left out, but it makes us conscious about community, about growing together, and it's just an amazing thing. So that was my compost spiel. And I think that there's some question and answers that I'm gonna wipe the dirt off. If that's okay. Don't forget to recycle. We need to. Okay, so this is so, guys. Thank you guys for being so kind. Okay, so Sue says, do you grow corn? If so, do you plant just regular dry corn? Are these seeds? Okay, so listen. So I bought these seeds. See the corn? See the corn here? You buy the seeds, and this is what's amazing about this, guys. You buy a package of seeds for $2. You get them on sale at some portions of the year where they're like $5 for $1. But the harvest from these seeds are just such an amazing thing. So it is. I've grown my own corn, and it is easy to grow. What you do is corn like squash. They're easy to actually grow. So you just get your little pots like this, plant them, allow them to sprout, allow the roots to get down in there, and then you have graduation day. And you want to be able to plant them. I got excited with the boys, and the boys actually just had threw the seeds out there before, and I was like, well, hold on, guys. And so they came up. But you want to give them room to grow so that they can produce. One of the things that in gardening people forget that, I have people send me messages as well. I planted it in a pot, but it's not growing any. I don't see any eggplant on it. Well, just like us, we grow when we have room. We can spread our wings and fly when we have room. So your veggie babies can't stay. If you want tomatoes from your she can't stay, or he can't stay in this pot, and you think you're going to harvest a bunch of tomatoes. You got to then transfer them in a bigger pot, give them room to grow so they can produce and manifest tomatoes. Okay, so I hope that answered your question, that you can get these seeds. You can go to Lowe's and but you can grow it yourself. Andrea, how do you keep rats from enjoying your compost while it's okay? So that's the thing. So the experience so I had, remember I told you I had mine and I had a lid on it. Well, even before that, I had left mine open, and it had possums came. Possums. The possums is nothing but a rat, but the possums came. So that was an experience. So how you do it is, when you do your layers of your composting, they're not going to dig. They're not going to dig for the food that's in your compost. So again, remember, guys, layer it like 7-layer dip. Don't just. So there's a lot of people who have those big bins and you just put the stuff in there. Well, those things, if you don't take care of it, and if you can't just throw the food in there and then walk away. You've got to steal, you got to turn it, you got to add dirt, but this is an easy and simple way that you can just put your dirt and layer it like 7-layer dip and put it out there. Rats, animals, they're not going to dig for it. So that is the amazing thing about that. Okay, so I hope I answered your question about that, Andrea. And then how do you pick what vegetables to plant and when? And do you have? Okay, so listen. There is a season, Maria, for when to plant plants. So since we live in Southern California, do you know that you can grow anything all season long? It's kind of like really amazing. And so I can, check it, Garden Fun with Kevin Milburn, and we've got all kind of information. But I suggest that when anyone is going to start a garden, start with what you eat. If you know that you eat tomatoes and you eat salad, then you need tomato plants. If you like celery, and peanut butter or celery, then you need to plant some celery. If you like corn, find your area, and it's so on and so forth. Strawberries, if you love strawberries, if you whatever it is that you like, that's where you start your list of what you should plant. And so the easy thing I can say, tomatoes, anything in green, kale is easy, because the thing about kale and broccoli, you want to, and even like collard greens, anything in the greens, when you harvest, the more you harvest, the more they give more to you. So I'm always harvesting kale, making kale chips and all these things that the kids love and that they found out that they can make in an air fryer. So we snap off the kale and they run inside and wash it and put it in the air fryer, and then they have kale chips. They know how to do but the fun of it is that those type of green leafy vegetables, once you snap them off, they produce again. You take off a head of broccoli, and then maybe in 2 to 3 weeks, you start seeing other broccolis come. So yeah, so it's really simple. In trying to find out what you want to plant, is just go by what you put on your table, what you guys like, what you do. Okay, I hope I answered that question. Oh my gosh, you guys are so amazing. If I put the compost bin in a small apartment balcony, will it start to smell and get fruit flies? Any tips for people trying to compost and live? Yes, okay. This is why the 7-layer dip example works, because you're doing layers. So, like for example, if you just put all of your compost in a bucket and you might put a couple of scoops of dirt, then it will, and in your dirt, you can see like your vegetables and stuff. It will attract flies, gnats, and all that. But with the layer concept, you can live in an apartment, you could put it outside, and because of the layers, when you put that last layer of dirt and you pack that last layer of dirt, there won't be any bugs. Now remember, your bin that you use, make sure that it has holes to drain. Make sure that it has holes to drain, because, and that water that drains off of them, you make sure there's another thing to catch the water, because that water is coming from all of your compost, and it's got nutrients in it, and you want to pour that back into and feed it back into your compost. So yeah, so to answer, you can do it in an apartment. And if you ask me, those compost bins are kind of overrated. Because you can do it. You can go to Target and get a bin and do it right in on your apartment patio. You can do it, and it really works. You don't have to worry about bugs. But remember, you got to do the layer, like the dip concept, and then make that last layer dirt, and pack it down in dirt, and then you lay that water on it, and you won't have a problem with gnats or bugs or anything like that. I hope that answers your question. Okay, Nicole, what veggie babies would you suggest for first-time novice gardeners, and any suggestions for folk in British Columbia where we could get a lot of sun? Okay, so this is how I learned. You can go online and get information to let you know. It's called zones. And you find out what zone that you're in and what vegetables would be the vegetables that could grow in your zone, wherever you're at. Again, when it comes to gardening, I suggest, people ask me all the time, well, Kevin, well, what should I grow? And I say, grow what you eat. Grow what you eat. You know, I don't do what's the squash that you make spaghetti out of? I don't do this. So there's no need for me. But because I love to garden, and I can say that I inherited a green thumb, I will plant stuff that I'm not interested in, and I give it away. And so, again, if you're going to start a garden, make a list of the things that you love. Look at your grocery list. And if you have bought like tons of tomatoes this year, I suggest that you get a tomato plant. You get a tomato plant today and plant it in a pot or put it somewhere. And so, again, I think it's just important for you to grow where you're at and grow from what you purchase. Okay, so I have, let's see. Okay, Samantha says, you mentioned not covering the compost bins. Won't that attract even more raccoons and possum? Is it worth investing in an expensive compost? Okay, again, I say whatever works for you, but just remember the 7-layer. I've not experienced any raccoons and possum once I did the layer experience. I had the bin, and listen, if you have a bin, I got a compost bin early on. It wasn't an expensive one, but it was, and the lid that comes up, we found that it was being lifted, and I'm sure it was a raccoon. So they have the ones that look like the old-fashioned barbecue grills that people used to make with the big, and the lid opens like that. Well, then, it's a meal for a raccoon. It's a meal for any animal that can lift and get it, a bear even. The reason that I do the concept that I do is because I can sit it out in the sun, and the sun makes it go through its process quicker. But no animals, no bugs when you do the layers. Remember the layers. Some people get the compost bin and just throw all their leftovers in there, and they don't treat it. And when I say treat it, put dirt in it, take the time to stir it, and they leave it, and then you get bugs, you get rats, you get things. So it's just whatever you think that works for you. If you want to get invest in a compost bin and it works for you, absolutely. But I'll say this: don't spend money on a compost bin until you learn the process of composting. Like experiment with like something like this. Get a little dirt, maybe start small so you can get the formula to composting, and then go, oh, okay, I need to go bigger. Remember, guys, start small, do testers growing. There's so much, I'll say this, there's so much food that we have in our kitchens that we can go ahead and, if you have pinto beans, remember back in school when you had pinto beans and they gave you the little paper towel, but experiment with pinto beans or beans that you have in your cabinets or something that you could, do to help you like activate the garden thirst and the composting. So start with, I hope I'm answering your questions. Okay, someone, okay, Kevin, have you ever seen the Vitamix food cycler meant to accelerate the composting process? I've not used it. I have seen it, but I've not used it. I think that this whole concept for me has just worked, and so I'm willing to try. Listen, I mean, I like trying all, but I have heard about it. I have heard about the Vitamix food cycler, and so, but again, I believe in starting where you're at. So I started where I was at, and the formula for me works where with the layers, and I'm not experiencing bugs because bugs are not gonna that it's that top layer of dirt. It's that top layer of dirt. It's the top layer of dirt that makes the difference. And in the layers of your compost, you've hidden your all of your scraps in those layers, and so it and then the sun, and at a certain point, once you see the process, this is another thing. Once you see the process and it's out in the sun, you see it dries, and it becomes like a brick. It comes like a brick, and that's why you have to keep watering it and keep stirring it. But it'll come like a brick, and then it'll break up and crumbles, and then it's a great process. Okay, what attracts bugs in your compost? Okay, before the things before I got this formula of the 7-layer dip concept, before I had exposed scraps in so I mixed it all up, but I still had. You said the potato peelings and the this peelings and they were sticking in, and so it attracted the bugs, and that's what produced the bugs and all the other things that you saw there. Guys, I hope I have answered your questions. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. Again, I just want to keeping celery salad in a bowl. How long do you usually keep celery and salad in a bowl of water before transitioning into a pot? Okay, Colette, that's a good question. Okay, so I keep it in the water until it sprouts. Once it sprouts and you see if you see, when you start seeing a root that starts coming, pay attention to it every day. Oh, sometimes if it looks like it's going to die, you might have to turn it over and just take a knife and scrape the bottom of the celery base, because the base will heal itself and cause like you know how a scab does, and so no water can get to it. So you turn it over, just scrape it a little bit, so then and put it back in the water so that it can still get water and drink. Once you see the great thing about it, once you see a root that's coming up, that's when you plant it, and then it's great stuff. Let's see. What do you think about bokashi composting? I am not very familiar with bokashi composting, but I'm going to do some research after we're off this tutorial, and maybe you can enlighten me. Send me an email. Okay. Do you have tips on removing weeds? Any tips to remove them without chemicals? Okay. So the only thing that I can say to you about removing weeds is the old-fashioned way: pull the weeds. Get out there. This is what I do with my sons on Saturdays. They get their little gloves on. We turn on the music and we go through the garden. And it's a good training process for the kids. I get them and I tell them to pull the weeds, and I show them. And sometimes in the first part of it, they were pulling vegetables, and I was like, no. That's a beet. You don't pull the beets up, you pull the weeds up. So anyway, it's teaching them when to know food from weeds. So yes, let's see. Is there a good way to harvest and cycle growing herbs? Example like cilantro and oregano. You do wait for the plant to go to seed again. There's two ways. And anybody knows about bolting. Bolting is when the green vegetables or herbs, they start going to seed, and you can save the seed so that you can replant. But like my sage, this is my sage baby. See my sage baby? Say hi, sage baby. This is my sage baby. And so what I do is I harvest as much as I can. There's a lot of times that I'll harvest and I'll dry them out. I'll put them in little containers, do the whole process of, whatever it is that I do. My parsley babies, I do the same thing. But what I do is, sometimes the parsley will go back to form, and it'll go into its bolting stage, and then it'll go into the flowering stage. And then what I do is I cut the tops off and I put them aside and save them to dry them out so I could save the seeds, so that I could package seeds and give those away or replant for my herbs. But my suggestion is, if you get understanding about what the bolting process is, when your green vegetables or anything goes through its bolting process, then it's at the end of the life of the plant. And if you keep it and after the bolting, the leaves can be bitter. So like if you had spinach that went into that start bolting, and you started to pick those leaves off those long bolting plant, it'll be bitter. It won't taste good. So when a plant goes into bolting, into the process of seeding, it's at the end of its giving stage, and then you got to start all over again. I hope I have answered your questions today. I'm so excited that you guys were a part of this tutorial. You guys are amazing, and I want to encourage you to garden, recycle. Gardening is a lifestyle, and it's good for everyone. It's absolutely good for everyone. It's good for the earth. It's good for your house. It's good. Listen, you can save the money that you would spend going to the store to buy vegetables. It is such an amazing feeling to tell my sons to go out to the yard and pick some romaine lettuce and some kale and some tomatoes, and we have a salad right there. Boom. And so anyway, guys, it is an amazing thing. I hope that you join me on the journey of living healthy, living free, eating green vegetables is the best thing for you. You need the vitamins. Don't forget to drink your water. And any tips on dealing with bugs without using pesticides? Yes, absolutely. Okay, so for instance, I forget the little bugs, but what we do, you can use, like, there's vinegar mixes, natural mixes, things that you can use that with natural, like vinegar and with a spray bottle. There's several different things. There's so much outline, but if you get a chance, drop by Garden Fun with Kevin Milburn on Facebook and you guys can see all the different tips that we have, all the partnerships that we have. Okay, I know this is the end of our tutorial, but I'm excited because I'm hosting a garden fun camp for children in the area. 10 kids are going to come here. We're going to set it up on the Saturday, and we're going to have a garden camp. So I'm excited about that, to share about gardening, how it can impact not only us, but our generations to come, the importance of having a garden. And so I just encourage everyone, if you've got the space in your yard or space in your apartment, look, go to the garden page. They got these amazing bins that are like towers that you can put on your patio in your garden, in your apartment, and around it you can grow different. Oh my God, it's amazing. It's just amazing. I mean, there's so much I want to share with you, but I just want you guys to know the importance of eating healthy, living healthy, thinking healthy, drinking healthy. We want to be a healthy nation. Okay, guys, this is it. I'm so excited. Thank you for coming to the garden. Thank you for being a part of this experience. And I just want to say, remember, smile, love, laugh, and live. I am Kevin Milburn from Garden Fun with Kevin Milburn, guys, and I thank you so much for this opportunity to share in gardening and compost. Thank you, guys.
It might seem crazy what I'm about to say. Sunshine, she's here, you can take a break. I'm a hot air balloon that could go to space with the air like...
Okay, so I just picked some fresh celery from the garden. Oh my goodness. This came out, listen to the crunch. This came out of the garden. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It's fresh, it's fresh, it's fresh, it's fresh. Oh my goodness, it's so good. Fresh from the garden. Fresh snack. Oh my gosh. I encourage everybody, start your garden today. It's so much fun.